Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today I'm going to be doing a sort of impromptu video where I'm going to be showing you the process that I go through to make a dog costume. So I'm going to be making a bat. So basically just bat wings that are going to kind of sit on top of his back, and then they will sort of flap as he's walking. And then hopefully they'll like kind of strap on under his chest and maybe over his chest. I'm not sure. I need to figure that stuff out, but yeah, so we're just gonna go along with how I figure it out, and I thought this would be like a fun video since Halloween is coming up. So I am taking 2 pieces of paper. I want to make them no larger than 20 inches wide, so I measured his body. So I'm going to basically make half the pattern on here, and then I'm going to like cut it on the fold to have a measure or a mirrored image. So I'm just going to sort of draw out the bat wings, and you'll see how I kind of figure that out. Okay, I think that looks good. So I'm going to cut it out. It's okay if I make it a little bigger because there will be that seam allowance. Okay, there you go. That looks so cute. So like I said, this is one wing, and then it's going to be doubled up for a full set of wings. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out my bat pattern. Like I said, I'm putting that on the fold. I'm going to use some pattern weights just to kind of weight it down, and I'll use my rotary cutter to cut it out. So we have one, and this is how it will look, and we're going to cut out a second one, so we have a top and bottom layer. Okay, so now we're going to press our fabric so that our wings are nice and flat. Okay, so now I'm going to take some fusible fleece interfacing, and I'm going to not cut this on the fold just because I don't want to waste it. So I'm just going to do like that, and since it fuses to the fabric, it'll be fine. The fact that it's not one entire piece won't make a huge difference. Sorry, my camera cut out there, but the reason why I'm using an interfacing is the interfacing actually will add structure to your fabric. So I'm using a thin cotton, and the thin cotton will just kind of wilt over my dog if I were to just make 2 layers of thin cotton and then that's it. But to add interfacing will add some structure and body to the fabric so that it will look more rigid, and it will actually kind of do what you want it to do. If you want it to stand straight up, then You can put special interfacing, very stiff interfacing. There's thin interfacing. There's just so many types of interfacing. I have another interfacing that I'm using now. I cut out the fusible fleece, but then I'm going to be using this, which is a lightweight flexi firm, and this is going to add even more structure to it. The thing is that this one is double-sided glue, so I'm going to show you what I plan to do. I'll get out my ironing board, and I'm going to get one of the bats, and I'm going to take my fusible fleece, and then I'm going to take one of my double-sided flexi, and I'm going to put that here, and then I'm going to put this on top. Because this is double-sided, if I were to iron on it, then of course I would get glue all over my iron. So I'm putting the fusible fleece on top, and then this will help me to just basically meld all 3 layers together without getting glue on my iron. But of course, if you have something else like Peltex or whatever, you can definitely use whatever you have. This is kind of just me experimenting. I don't even know if this is gonna work amazing, but I mean, I can't see why it wouldn't, because there's 2 layers of nice thick interfacing. The thing about having the thick interfacing also is when I do a top stitch on top of the bat wings, it will also kind of look like it's quilted, and then you'll be able to see the lines of the bat wing, so it's kind of like the spines of it, and I'll be able to have some fun in that area. So I'm just going to press it down. And it seems like it's not penetrating, so I'm just gonna flip it over. And I'm not gonna put interfacing on the other piece, just the one, because then after we're going to give it a good press, and it all should stay together, especially after you do all of the top stitching and things like that. So we have the one side, and now we will do the other side. And you can really tell when you have actually done something, because you can see that the glue starts to melt and then it kind of goes through the layers. Okay, so we are now done. Took a little bit. If the interfacing isn't quite fused, that's okay, because we're going to give it another press once we completely assemble it. So now we're going to take our second layer and we're going to lay that on top. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to attach it to him, but I think that however I do it, I'll figure it out at the end, and it's okay if I see my stitches of how I attach it. It'll just add to, and it'll be dark on Halloween. You won't see it. You'll just see a cute doggy with a flapping bat wings, hopefully. Look how this works out. Now I'm going to go over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew all the way around. I'm going to leave a hole, probably like along here or here, just to turn it. So if your fabrics are, of course, one-sided, like mine are not one-sided, so it doesn't matter how I put them together, but if they do have a print on them, then make sure they're just right sides together. Okay, so now I have it done, and now I'm going to flip it right sides out, and I'm going to go inside if I can. It's a little bit difficult. A little bit. If I can go all the way to the other side and kind of grab the end. Like this, and then pull it through without wrecking the fabric or ripping anything. That's push it. So you want to pull in stitches. Here. Now we need to make it so inside. Very stiff. That's okay. That's what we want. Okay, so now with that little hole that we left for turning, we're just going to fold it in, and then when we go to do our top stitching, it will get closed up. Okay, so I'm gonna get my chalk, and I'm just gonna show you like what I'm thinking. So I would take my chalk and I would kind of like draw out. Now this will smudge off, but if I were to do the white stitching, it kind of like outlines it. And then we could go like that. Does that look cool? And it's very obviously a batwing. Maybe I'll just do white for this tutorial, and then like, you know, you can of course choose what you want to do, but so that you can actually see what I'm going to do. Like that. This is some good guidelines so that you can kind of see what I'm doing. And now we can go and quilt and do up that hole. Yeah, I'm excited. That's a bulky machine. Ouch. Okay, so I'm going to take some fleece and I'm going to make a band to go around his belly. If you want, you can go get like an old or new, I just got this over the Dollar Tree, a harness. You could totally just attach that onto here, and then it'll be adjustable, and or you can attach this onto any sort of harness that you have. But I'm just going to make a quick band here, and he's about 24 inches around his chest, and then we of course will divide that into two, so that's going to be 12 inches, and then we want to overlap it a bit. So if it's 12 inches, I would say like 16 inches. 16. I mean, if you wanted to fit for a while, and you know, if your dog is growing, then you can, because he's not growing, or he's still growing. He's only 7 months old right now, so he's still got some chest growth. So if we want to use this in, you know, years to come, we need to take that into account. And I'm just going to make that band 4 inches wide. And I just cut that on the fold so that it just gives me less sewing. And we'll just do it again. So I probably should have made this all one, but that's okay. I'll just sew them together. You won't even see it because it'll be underneath. I'll sew it together and then I'll fold it in half with the right sides together, and then we'll do it all the way around, leaving a hole for turning. Okay. Then we will fold it in half lengthways with the right sides together. And we will do, if you've ever made a band or a sash or something, same deal. Super quick and easy. And then continue on, leaving that hole for turning. Cutting off that excess fabric. I am doing this very quickly, as you can tell. And now I will turn it right sides out. Of course, you can use any sort of fabric for this band. I'm using fleece just because it's soft and it's my baby and I don't want to hurt him. Not that that matters, but you know, chafing or whatever because it's underneath them. Okay. And now we can do a top stitch all the way around the whole entire thing, and then that's going to also close up the hole we used for turning. Okay, so I'm just going to get some Velcro. We have the loop and the hook. The hook is the sticky part, yeah. And the loop is the part that grabs on. So you don't necessarily need a ton of the loop, but if you want to make it adjustable, you want to give yourself some more of the loop. So you're just going to kind of, we're going to have it around. So we want this with the hook, this with the loop, and then this will go over that. Okay, so we'll just attach that, and then we can go and sew it on. If you're looking for any Velcro, definitely get the one that doesn't have any glue on it, because the glue will just destroy your needles and it's just not fun. So, okay, so let's go and attach this real quick. And there's usually a nice little flat part there where you sew. You do have to go over the loops though, and sometimes sewing machines don't like that, like mine. Sometimes skips my stitches. Okay, so here is how it is looking. This is the top. So I'm just gonna flip it over to the bottom, and I will put on my band. It's gonna go like that. I'm just gonna sew that on, and then we can try it on the puppy, and hopefully he'll let me take a little video and you can see him wearing it. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the little alterations that I made. I took a piece of elastic and I sewed it on the tips of the wings here, and this is going to go around his head and it kind of lays on his chest. So it just kind of keeps it from riding down his back. And then there is the little strap that goes under his belly, and it stays on pretty good. It does sort of slightly, you know, if he has a lot of movement and stuff, but if he's just walking, then I think that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'm gonna put in clips now of him wearing it. And don't forget to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye guys!